It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science Potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you and welcome to this special edition of Science Bowl. The two teams meeting today will decide who will go on to the semifinals. Will it be Martin Luther King or Hyattsville? Let's meet the players now. First, from Hyattsville Middle School, would you please welcome Humberto Enriquez, Garvey McKeon, and Mahalia Lotz. And from Martin Luther King, would you please say hello to Zachary Landau, Karthik, Sundar, and Liam Greaves. And now here are the categories of questions we use on Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo Parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
Here on Science Bowl, our game board reflects the difficulty of the questions, with the easier ones on the left worth 5 and 10 points, the tougher ones worth 15, 20, and ultimately 25, the toughest question of them all. Both of our teams start out at 50 points, no penalties for any incorrect answers. At the end of the 2 rounds today, we will have the third of our 4 middle school semifinalists. Today's school will join Benjamin Tasker and Drew Freeman in that winner's circle. Let's make sure everything works properly. Garvey, would you try your buzzer for me? Thank you, young man. Good luck to you, to Humberto, and to Mahalia. And Karthik, would you try yours? Thank you. Good luck to you, to Liam, and to Zachary. Are we ready? Yeah. Let's do this. And congratulations for having made it this far in our competition. You all play so splendidly. We're proud of you all. Let's have a good game. We go alphabetically H before M. So Hyattsville, Garvey, let's play the bowl.
Body systems for 10 points.
Body systems for 10 points. Seems a multiple choice question to start us out. If someone gives you a bear hug, are they using their triceps, their deltoids, or their pectoral muscles? Martin Luther King.
Triceps?
Not the triceps. If you're giving someone a bear hug, are they using their triceps, their deltoids, or their pectorals?
Deltoids.
The pectorals, the one neither of you chose. Those are the breast muscles, if you will, that you need to give that bear hug. Try again, red.
Green things for 10 points.
Green things for 10 points. Teams, if a plant is much smaller than normal, a tiny version of its much larger self, what D initial term do we use to describe that was familiar? Yes, Martin Luther King.
Dwarf.
A dwarf plant. I was going to say a term familiar to Snow White. Good. Okay, Green, you're on the board. Go, Karthik.
Science Potpourri for 10.
Science Potpourri for 10 points. Teams, cities in the southwestern portion of the United States, Tucson, Phoenix, and Albuquerque, are part of the so-called Sun Belt. But cities like Pittsburgh and Buffalo and Cleveland, where the factories are decaying, are named for the oxidation of iron. What kind of belt are they, Hyattsville?
Rust.
The Rust Belt cities. Yes, good. Go. Red.
Zoo Parade for 10 points.
Zoo Parade for 10 points. Teams, what extinct elephant relative is played... Yes, Hyattsville.
Mammoth.
The woolly mammoth. I was about to say he was named Manny in the Ice Age animated movies. All right. 70 to 60, Hyattsville with the lead. Garvey, you choose.
Let's get physical for 10.
Let's get physical for 10 points. Teams, litmus papers measure this qualitatively. Hyattsville.
pH?
pH, yes. I was about to tell you, in addition, that red cabbage juice is an indicator that measures this quantitatively. pH, yes. Acidity or basicity of a substance. Red, please.
Dateline Science for 10 points, please.
Dateline for 10. Teams, the Human Genome Project was the sequencing of what genetic material in human beings? Martin Luther King?
DNA.
DNA. You got it, Karthik. Good. Green. All the 10-point questions are now gone. Where next?
Let's get physical for 15.
Let's get physical for 15 points. Teams, if an airplane is flying through the air and it runs into a strong headwind, what force is produced by that friction? What force is produced by that friction? Hyattsville. Yes, sir.
I don't know.
Don't know. Martin Luther King, a plane flying through a strong headwind. What force is produced by the friction on that plane?
Drag.
Drag it is. That's what I want to hear. The resistance, the drag. Good answer. The drag coefficient. Go green.
Zoo parade for 5.
Zoo parade, 5 points. Teams, your question is as follows. Back in 1871, the Great Chicago Fire supposedly, Martin Luther King.
I'll give it to Liam.
Liam?
Was started by a cow.
A cow. Old Mrs. O'Leary's cow. They blamed it when it supposedly kicked over a gas lantern. That's exactly right. Good. Green.
Dateline science for 5.
Dateline for 5 points. Teams, NASA recently successfully fired its Ares 1X. Martin Luther King.
Rocket.
More information.
Into outer space.
Yes, please.
To Mars.
Not to Mars, no. Hyattsville, the Ares 1X missile, recently successfully tested by NASA, is supposed to take us back to the what?
Moon.
The moon is where we want to hear. Yes, good. Red.
Science potpourri for 15 points.
Potpourri for 15 points. Teams, a multiple choice question. If you are lactose intolerant, you cannot drink milk or...
Or any dairy products.
Right. You jumped in too soon. Hyattsville, multiple choice question. If you're lactose intolerant, you cannot drink milk or dairy products, as Karthik just said. Is it because you are reacting to the milk protein, the milk sugar, or the milk fat?
The sugar.
The sugar, that's right. Anything that ends in OSE, lactose, glucose, fructose, a dead giveaway that that's the sugar. Red, please.
Body systems for 15 points, please.
Body systems for 15 points. Teams, if your travel agent books you on a cruise to the Isles of Langerhans, you're actually going inside your body to what organ that produces insulin? Hyattsville.
Pancreas.
The pancreas. That's where the Isles of Langerhans are. The small groups of cells that actually produce the insulin hormone. Red, please. Whoa, the buzzer has rung. Wow, what a great game. Hyattsville 115 right behind them at 90 points. Martin Luther King. We'll be back with this important game in just a moment. Don't go away. Welcome back to Science Ball. 6 outstanding players here. They've won before, and you can see why they all play so beautifully. Let's find out about them if you missed them the first time they were on air. Let's go to Hyattsville, the reigning Science Bowl champs for the past 2 years. 5 championships in 24 years, second only to Kenmore. So we know there's some talent over here. Umberto and Garvey and Mahalia, nice to have you with us. Garvey, tell us a little bit about Hyattsville. What makes this school so special?
Well, we have a bunch of good teachers, and we have a good principal, Miss Golden.
Absolutely. She's been there for a number of years. I know you have a tremendous creative arts program. I've been over there for your 9/11 celebration, which is very moving every year. And you always have visiting troops of singers and dancers come, so you get a lot of extracurriculars as well. Who's the sponsor of your team, Garvey?
Miss Reddick.
Miss Reddick. This is her first year, and I know she's enjoying it. And you have lots of alternates on your team, and we'll bring them all out a little bit later. And Garvey, I know you do a lot of things in your spare time. Share that with us.
Well, I collect shark teeth, and I play soccer. Yeah. And I used to play baseball, but now I don't.
Yeah. Where do you find these shark teeth?
Well, I went down to Calvert Cliffs sometimes.
Yeah.
I go down there, and it's pretty cool because they just, like, you can just find them on the beach,
it's
just
amazing.
lying there.
Yeah. And when you think how old those are that you can hold in your hand, do you think you might want to go into paleontology someday?
Who knows?
Who knows? That's right. Life is full of all kinds of surprises and opportunities. Mahalia, nice to have you back with us. You've been on our program before when you were at University Park. And tell me, what's it like to be on the program? Do you settle down after a while? Because you seem very confident.
I was a bit nervous before, but once you get on the game, you only focus on the questions.
Absolutely right, and that's the trick. You know, you can't worry about all those people out there watching because they're all pulling for you and they're all marveling at how much you know. You mentioned to me that you might want to be an actress someday. What kind of actress?
Well, mostly I really like singing, and the singing kind of brought me into drama and acting. Yeah. So I'm really not sure yet.
It's all a package, and I know you have an interest in psychology too. Yes. Umberto, nice to have you here. Tell me the sports you play.
Well, most of the sports I play, like Just me and my friends.
That's all right.
But I only play organized soccer.
Organized soccer, but you also play some football, don't you?
Yeah.
And basketball and baseball with your friends. And what do you aspire to do someday?
Be a chemist.
Chemist, yeah. We talked about that before. And you used to have a chemistry set at home, right? Yeah. Why'd you want to be on Science Bowl?
Well, like I said before, I thought it would be a good opportunity to expand my knowledge and see how good I was at science, and also test myself.
Yeah. Are you enjoying it so far?
Huh?
Are you enjoying it so far?
Yes.
Good. We enjoy having you here. Martin Luther King, nice to have you guys here today. Zach and Karthik and Liam, old hands at Science Bowl, even though you've got such young faces over there because you've all been on our program before. Karthik with King and Liam and Zachary with the Bond Mill team. Karthik, let me ask you what I asked Garvey. What makes King such a special place?
Well, we have a lot of great teachers and we have a great principal. We also have an AVID program and we have a foreign language program.
Foreign language program, that's right. Miss Wiltison is your principal over there, has been for a number of years, and she actually used to teach there. So she really lives and breathes and loves Martin Luther King. And your sponsor, Miss Reyes, I mean, she has also been part of Science Bowl's history here in our 24 years. She hasn't been here that long, but she's been here a lot of the way, and we really appreciate all her support. Karthik, tell us about yourself. You know, your father, I think, is a scientist, is he not? Mm-hmm. Works in bacteriology, and you're also interested in engineering, so you must be a good math student.
Yeah.
What kind of engineer would you be?
Probably a robot engineer. The person who makes robots.
Yeah. Robots are big now, aren't they? You know, they're almost too good. They almost think much like we do, you know, but they don't make the mistakes. But they can go places where we can't. And, you know, why put a human in danger if a robot can do that? Nice to have you back. You play a wonderful game. Zach, nice to see you here. Young man who does a number of things in his spare time. Tell us about that.
I do lots of things, and I also play instruments. I play saxophone, I play soccer, and a lot of sports. A
lot of sports. All right, you and Umberto have a lot in common. What do you want to do someday, Zach?
Be a scientist that has to do with making new cures for diseases.
That's right. You told me about that before. You'd like to maybe into research. You could be a research scientist of some kind. Liam, nice to have you back. You always have a smile on your face. You seem to really enjoy being here. We love having you as well. Tell me how you come to be so good at science.
Well, I like reading a lot of books, and normally when I go to school, I would just pop open my books and I would see a lot of science questions in there, and so I would just go and learn them.
Yeah, you have an innate curiosity, and you know, the fact that you knew about Mrs. O'Leary's cow tells me you read a lot. And boy, that really sets you up for not just Science Bowl, but for life, so you keep that up. Let's get back to our game. It's a close one. Hyattsville 115, King 90. Last correct answer came from the red team. Lots of points to give away. Garvey, where next?
Super 8 for 15 points.
Super 8 for 15. Teams, there are some species of spiders that it turns out they prefer eating female mosquitoes over male mosquitoes because... Martin Luther King. Liam?
Did the females have more blood?
They have more blood in them, that's right. And sometimes they have eggs, so they get lots of protein that way. Absolutely right. Good. Green.
Dateline for 15.
Dateline for 15 points. Teams, it was back in 1999 in New York City that the first outbreak of the disease called West Nile what occurred? Martin Luther King, West Nile, what?
Virus?
Virus it is, yes. We saw crows dropping dead and blue jays, and that was the first hint that something was afoot. Go. Green.
Potpourri for fine.
Science potpourri for? 5 points. All right. Potpourri for 5 points. Your question, teams, the so-called Barber of Seville because... Hyattsville? What do you want to tell me, Garvey?
I don't know.
You don't know. I wonder how you could read our mind here, but sometimes people can. King, the so-called Barber of Seville, because he also did extractions with no anesthesia on the side, was, in addition to being a barber, he was also a what?
Anesthetic.
Not an anesthetic. A dentist. A dentist. Extractions. Extractions with no anesthesia. Imagine that. Pulling out a tooth with no pain reliever. Go again, Green. You have a 5-point lead. Karthik.
Green things for 5.
Green things for 5 points. Teams are a group of elite colleges in this country whose buildings... Hyattsville?
Ivy League.
Ivy League. You got it. Those clinging vines along the sides of those old buildings. You're quick. 120. We had a tie score. Garvey, let's break it.
Body systems for 5 points, please.
Body systems for 5 points. Teams, these teeth in your mouth are so named not because of intelligence, but because of age. Martin Luther King.
Wisdom teeth?
Wisdom teeth, that's right. Sometimes impacted, have to be removed. Yeah, they're kind of nasty back there. Green, in the lead by 5.
Let's get physical for 5.
Let's get physical for 5 points. Teams, even though no human, even Shaquille O'Neal, can't reach the cumulus ones, if someone is oblivious, they're said to have their head in the Hyattsville.
Clouds?
Clouds. Their head in the clouds. They're walking around with their head in the cloud, don't know what's going on. Red, you're not like that.
Green things for 15 points.
Green things for 15. Teams, your question is as follows. This starchy tuber that originated in Peru eventually moved to Europe, where it supported huge population growth. Hyattsville.
Potato?
The potato, that's right, until a blight wiped out many of the plants and led to the Great Irish Famine. All right, here's the scenario. 140 for Hyattsville, 125 for Martin Luther King. All of the highly valued points are left. Red.
Zoo Parade for 20.
Zoo Parade for 20 points. Teams, look at the monitor in the studio if you would, please. Teams, this rat that lives underground is naked. Yes, Martin Luther King.
I'll give it to Liam.
Liam.
It's a naked mole rat.
It is indeed a naked mole rat. Yes, I was about to say it is named for that buck-toothed burrowing mammal that we're more familiar with. Yes, good. Green.
Dateline sign. Wait, green things for 20.
Green things for 20 points. Teams, when a seed is not germinating because it is too cold or too dry, it is said to be in what state? It is said to be in what state, King?
Dormant.
Dormant state. Absolutely right. It is in a state of dormancy. Go green. Yes, sir.
Dateline signs for 20.
Dateline signs for 20 points. Teams, back to the monitor, please, for a visual question. Teams, you're looking at Darwin's finches. These birds that lived in the Galapagos Islands all have different sized beaks. By noticing the different beak sizes, Hyattsville?
Theory of evolution?
Theory of evolution. He based his theory of evolution on those observations. Thank you, Mahalia, for your assist. Indeed. Go red. Good.
Physical for 20.
Let's get physical for 20 points. Seems your question is as follows. A centrifuge that spins around very quickly can separate the different parts of blood. It can separate the cream from the milk. It does so because of the factor where we measure the mass divided by the unit of volume. What is it that separates them? What is that defined as? Karthik.
Density?
The density. That's what I want to hear. Different densities led to those different separations. Indeed. Go green.
Body systems for 20.
Body systems for 20 points. Teams. Two-part answer, and it's a multiple choice. Where would you be if you experienced hypoxia? In a cave, atop a mountain, or in a deep valley? Tell me where you would be and what you're experiencing. Hypoxia. 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 In a deep valley, in a cave, or atop a mountain. Where would you be and what are you experiencing? Martin Luther King, two-part answer. Can you give me that for 20 points?
I'll give it to...
Okay, Zach, you're our spokesperson. First, where would we be?
It would be on a mountain.
And what are you experiencing?
High heights. No.
Wait.
No.
Loss of oxygen.
Loss of oxygen. Absolutely right. You're way up there. There's not much to breathe. Hypoxia, not enough oxygen. Hypo meaning less than. Good. Green.
Science potpourri for 20.
Science potpourri, 20 points. Teams, your question is as follows. There are two kinds of birds, altricial and precocial. Altricial birds are like the songbirds, robins and wrens and cardinals. But the precocial birds are like baby ducks and chickens. How are they different? How are they different? Can you tell me that for 20 points?
They can't make noise.
All right. Garvey.
They can't make noise.
They can't make noise.
They can't sing.
Can't sing. Not quite. Not quite. Martin Luther King, altricial birds are birds like songbirds, like baby robins and cardinals and wrens. But precocial birds are birds like baby chickens and ducks. Can you tell me what the difference is between them? What do you think, gentlemen? Do you have an idea? Altricial birds are birds that are born helpless. No feathers, their eyes aren't open. Whereas if you have a baby chicken or a duck, boy, they're ready to rock as soon as they come out of that egg. They're precocious, like a precocious child. All right, no points. 160, 205, all the 25 pointers left. Pick it. Karthik.
Dateline for 25.
Dateline for 25 points. Teams, this is a multiple choice question. A scientist in California has just named a new orange-colored lichen for President Obama. The scientific name is Califon obamae. Is he following the system that was laid down by Martin Luther King?
Carolus Linnaeus. Carolus Linnaeus.
Carolus Linnaeus, absolutely right. I was going to give you the choice of Linnaeus or Mendel or Skinner. You didn't even need those. Go.
Body systems for 25.
Body systems for 25 points. Teams, if you get the herpes zoster virus as a child, you get chicken pox. If that virus stays in your body, it can resurface as an adult in a nerve disease that is synonymous with what you put on your roof. Hyattsville.
Shingles.
Shingles, absolutely right. A very painful condition. Garvey, go.
Zoo parade 25.
Zoo parade 25 points. Teams, two-part question. Listen carefully. A sign of herbivory, to see if an animal is herbivorous, if you ask it to open its mouth, if you look inside its mouth and down its throat, what two clues will tell you that it might be a herbivorous animal? What two clues? You've opened the mouth and you're looking down the throat. Give me two clues that would confirm that the animal was herbivorous.
It has large molars and tonsils.
And tonsils? Not quite. Not quite. Hyattsville, signs of herbivory. An animal is most likely herbivorous if you open its mouth and you look inside and you look down its throat. Give me two things that might confirm that it's herbivorous.
And
what do you think, Garvey?
well, it's got flat teeth and it has stones in its stomach.
Stones in its stomach. Not really. You got the tooth part right. Yeah, grinding teeth. But a herbivore has a very long and convoluted intestinal system to break down the cellulose in the plants that it eats. So if you have lots of intestines and all, chances are it's a herbivore. All right, a minute and a half. Red shoes. Garvey, 3 questions left.
Green things for 25.
Green things for 25. Big one in that category. Teams. To be considered a perfect flower, a 10 if you will, a flower needs to have both pistils and these. Pistils and these, King.
Stamens.
Stamens is what I want to hear. Yes, indeed. All right. 2 questions left. Let's extinguish the light and Karthik Pickett.
Science potpourri for 25.
Potpourri for 25 points. Teams, I'm going to read a statement to you, and I want you to tell me where in the scientific experiment process it fits. If you're doing a science fair experiment, where would this sentence most likely be? What would you characterize it as? If seeds placed inside Martin Luther King.
Question?
Hypothesis.
What's your answer?
Hypothesis?
It is indeed the hypothesis. Yes, we're making a guess or a prediction. That's exactly right. You guys are quick. Our game is over. We will be back with a wrap-up in just a moment. Don't go away. Welcome back. One of our judges said it best. This was a very exciting game. I'm sure you felt that at home as well. 6 players at the top of their game, and we couldn't have asked for a finer competition. Our final tally today is Hyattsville 185, Martin Luther King 280. Congratulations to Zach and Karthik and Liam. What a game you played. Chitty, I know you're very proud of the team. Miss Reyes, congratulations. You're headed back maybe to your 2nd championship here on Science Bowl. We wish you luck. Hyattsville, what a tremendous game. Humberto and Garvey and Mahalia, you played your best. We're going to miss seeing you guys here. Billy and Sam, let's see some smiles back there. This is a championship team. The reigning champs, Hyattsville. Ms. Reddick, thank you, and I want to see you back next year. I hope you'll be with us. Hope to see you next time on another edition of Science Bowl. Thanks for being with us. Bye now.